So to start off the discussion about the energy of the heart, can you tell me a little bit about how the heart is an electromagnetic center and how we can use this knowledge to benefit our physical, emotional, and spiritual health?
So I could take that question.
Awesome.
So I've been practicing heart code now for about 15 years. I work for the American Heart Association. And what I've learned in my research about 20 years ago, cardiology started. So it developed with a significant heart impact because the heart is actually a brain in its own right. So if we really want to understand how the electromagnetic field communicates with each other and to really understand it, we have to understand the three branches that create the electromagnetic center. So this is through your biochemically. So this is through hormones and neurotransmitters, biophysically. So that's through the pressure waves that communicates with every organ in your body, and neurologically. So this transmits through your nervous system. And this creates the electromagnetic center. So this center pushes oxygen, it moves energy, it magnifies about 75 trillion cells in your body. So if we want to know about the heart and how it communicates and how we can actually learn from this and develop new traits, you have to understand this is in a huge brain. The heart can learn, it can remember, it can sense, and it can feel. So it impacts every part of your body because it decides what gets placed and what gets stored. So, a lot of us, we think that everything impacts the mind first and we just kind of develop it and we kind of, filter everything out. And the truth is it actually impacts the heart first. So, I mean, you can even hear like little phrases like listen to your heart, work with your heart, right? And that part of your body is so important because it radiates everything and, it brings an application to every situation in your life. So that's how it communicates first. If that answers your question, Kat.
That does. And I love that because I really do believe that, and I've had to learn that's like the premise of the show, like getting people out of their head and into their heart, because I had to do that for myself. And I understand it for myself, but I love like having you share, and all of you, some of the science behind it and how it works to break it down for people like in real time, and in a way that they can simply understand it. And as you were speaking, I was thinking, some of the work I do is with rewiring, and it's not just about rewiring the brains. Like you said, you start with the heart and it's almost like expand from there is what I got from that. I don't know if Kristen or Marissa wanted to jump in on that a little more before we move on to another question.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that when we talk about electromagnetics, from the 50,000 foot level, electromagnetics is how our whole body talks to each other. So even cell to cell communication happens through electromagnetics, and the heart is exponentially more intense in the electromagnetic field than the brain or even the gut. And, kind of taking the science and turning it towards energy, one of the things that we talk about a lot when we talk about energy is what is energy anyway? And I know, Kat, you were involved. We did this whole deep dive into it earlier in 2021, where we're like, what is energy anyway? And we kind of came up with this answer that we don't really know what energy is when we talk about energy healing and energy medicine, but we do know a lot about it, and it has a lot of different parts, right? So it's frequency and vibration, it's wisdom, it's information, and it's light. Part of our energy is light, but part of it is also this electromagnetic component that energy has to it. And through that electromagnetic component is how we get all the information, this subtle information that maybe our brain doesn't understand. That's how we bring that information into our body, into our heart, which spreads it to our cells. And that's kind of what helps to have our physical body optimize itself in terms of health. So in terms of electromagnetics, I think it has to do with information as well, and how we communicate that.
I love that, Kristen. And if I can tack on, Kat, just real quickly,
I
think, yeah, it is that information. But of course, what we're trying to do with the heart and what we're trying to do is create this understanding so that we can create that heart coherence, right? So, of course, the three of us are energy codes practitioners. And one of the key breaths that Dr. Sue Morter, who teaches that course, taught was central channel breathing. And of course, you are really capitalizing on that heart-centered energy to make everything in the body coherent. coherence. So that's where the magic happens. The energy is all around us all the time, no matter what. However, when we bring it into alignment with the mind, body, spirit, that's where the magic happens.
I love
And
that. Oh, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say real fast. Yeah, because when I was, when Marissa was just talking about that, I was thinking, at the electromagnetic field, it starts in the developing embryo and it communicates, with every part of your body, and it radiates so much energy, but it also pushes energy out 8 feet past your body. Right. So we're all care bears, if you really think about it. Right. So we're all radiating this light photon energy constantly that's cycling through a central channel and creating patterns. And so it's just so powerful what we can actually, like, what's in our heart center. This is the control center.
I love that. I really do believe, or I've come to believe and embody that it is the control center. So I appreciate you all sharing that. I wanted to ask, I guess, a question, a follow-up to this is, when people become aware, like about the electromagnetic field and everything that you've shared, and they start to maybe practice a central channel breath, maybe you can demonstrate that later if there's time. Does there take time to integrate this, information and to expand? Can anyone speak to that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marissa. No, go ahead.
I was just going to start with saying that yes, and it depends on where we're all starting, right? It's like we're all, especially as healers, we realize we meet each other exactly where we are. And so I know for myself, as an example, I went through a pretty significant, kind of, I don't know what it was, a gut issue or something during COVID. And so obviously my energy was just like all over the place. It was very crazy. It felt very unsettled. And so from that place, it took a very long time and a whole lot of energy to bring it into any type of coherence. And so honestly, I've only noticed, and I've noticed the magic happen through the breath work, to tell you the truth. That was a big game changer for me. In addition to that, though, it's just like the more you are involved with communities like this, like, again, everything is energy. So the more you heighten your awareness to it, and the more refined you bring it in, the more you feel that. So I think it just really depends on where you're starting in terms of getting to the place where magic happens. Sometimes it's just about physical healing, and that's what you're doing, and that's okay. And all the other healing is happening, but you're just not quite resonating with that yet because of your own state of mind. So it comes in levels.
Yes,
I love that. And go
I
ahead,
was
Kristen.
I was just going to say, so the thing that we talk about a lot is to have this paradigm shift where we recognize ourselves, mind, body, spirit, right? And those three things, everywhere in our culture says to have them in balance, but in reality, the spirit is the boss and the spirit's in charge. And we are an energy being that happen to have a physical body and a mind. So while our spirit and our energy can change in an instant, our body and our mind need that time, right? Our physical body needs to let things shift around, and our mind needs to get on board sometimes. And that can take time, and it can be frustrating. I see a lot of people kind of give up on the energy work because they get to a place where they feel like they're stalled, and they don't realize so much is actually happening in their physical body, but the outcome has not expressed itself yet, right? Because your body and your mind, it needs that time to integrate, for sure.
Definitely. And if I just, I'll piggyback on that real fast. So when we think, of the travel between the 18 inches from our mind to our hearts, right? We step back, and the transparency may seem fast because of the chain reactions that we kind of naturally just talked about with, the biochemicals and biophysically. It seems like everything happens really fast. But when we step back and we decode the path, it actually feels long lasting because of the inward devotion and the hidden compassion, and the communication gets lost sometimes because of the mentalist mind. So it's funny to me because in my research, the heart is the master system. But if the heart knows how to take the back seat, actually it really does, because it's so humble, it's lovable, but it's also wildly free. But we're just not trained in it, right? We don't sometimes listen to our hearts first. So we have to learn how to tap into that, because that's the fuel of the soul. That's where the healing is developed, right? And that's where transformation actually happens in seconds. But sometimes the mind takes the front seat. And that's why I say the heart is so humble. It'll be like, I'll just sit back here and, I'll let you decide to do whatever. But feels so much. And it's such a stronger brain, 5,000 times stronger actually than the brain. But we don't talk about that, right? So it's something that needs to be trained, that we listen to that first.